Hey guys, it is Chad from the Battle Warrior Podcast, and I'm thanking you guys for downloading this brand new episode today. Hey guys, the Battle Warrior Podcast is sponsored by Battle Warrior Brands. Go visit www.battle-warrior-brands.com to go visit www.battlewarriorbrands.com, guys. And thank you very much for this recent episode. And this episode starts now. Hey guys, welcome to the Battle Warrior Podcast. This is Chad. I am the Battle Warrior. We have a brother that's got bigger arms than my own freaking arms here, whatever it is. But Eric Rogers, the owner of and operator of Rogers Fitness Academy. And like we were saying before we were recording, he's not even going to talk about fitness, guys. We're going to sit here. We're going to talk about his story. So, man, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Just a little, I really appreciate you getting me on this podcast, man, and being a guest. I listened to a couple of your episodes before this, and I really enjoyed it. So you got a good thing going on here.
I want to keep it free flowing, like I said prior, like recording, but like I want to capture, and the thing that we captured, what I loved from comedy back in days, what I want to capture in my podcast, like that improv magic.
Yeah, man, I love it. It's different. It's free flow. It's like a bro sesh.
Bro
sesh. I'm from Cali, so you might get a little bit of that in me.
I'm in the upper Midwest, so that's where you kind of hear the little Canada in me. But
yeah, I hear it.
It's we're getting a little more Cali here, so a lot of people, and I don't want to say it flows through Denver, but here in Green Bay, Appleton area, we have a lot of people that go to Denver, and it's a crisscross. So like Cali people will go to Denver and then come up to Wisconsin, and then Wisconsin back to Cali and back. So right. There's a free flowing of Cali people in the States. So it's I definitely picked up your vocab, we'll say it that way.
Yeah. Hella. Yep, that's it. That's what we say, bro. We say bro, dude, and hella a lot. And it's quite annoying even to me, but I can't stop, dude. I can't stop sometimes.
The other one that I was joking around with a family member of mine, it's short wording, like and I'm gonna say out west, but like out west it's short wording, so it'd be like, we're not gonna go catch powder, we're gonna go catch pow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, powder, bro, snow. I'm like, whatever.
Oh geez, that's funny. Yeah, man, I mean, I appreciate you bringing me on here, dude. I'm like you said, I'm the owner of Rogers Fitness Academy. I've helped over 200 people transform their lives and their bodies in the last year and a half. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a fitness and discipline fanatic. And dude, I'm going down as one of the best transformations this world's ever seen. I guarantee you that. I've been through hell. I've seen some of the darkest places a man should see. I've also overcome those things, and I didn't just overcome them. I own them. They don't control me anymore. They fuel me. And, this is a path I'm on, just full commitment, full discipline to absolute growth. And that's my goal, bro. That's my path.
It's and I'm going to Andy Frisella, and I'm going to talk about that podcast today for 2 seconds here, but he came out with one, we call it the no man zone, where when we get on this growth pattern and we start leveling up, it's like we separate ourselves. And I'm going to say no man's zone, but like you have your normal friends and then you have this little gray area. And what I've noticed in my journey growing in, and I'm a little more skinnier than you are right now, we're just joking around a little bit because we're both in the gym all the time, but
right.
When you level up, it's like a quiet period. It's like everyone they're like, dude, you disappeared. What happened?
Yeah.
Are you that way?
Absolutely. I've never had like influence in my life. I've always been the influence, mostly a bad one. And now I'm a good one, but I had no one to really like learn from. And so most of the time I am kind of isolated in a way where I'm quiet, and I I move like through the darkness. I move quick, and I'm constantly going. But you're right. It is like it's like a void, you know, it's like a space that, you know, you move through quickly and quietly, and it's next thing, like it's just, I think it's because it happens so instantaneously, so fast, that growth happens, and then next thing you know, you're like here, and you wonder how the hell you got there. You're like, damn, like where am I? Like just the comparison from this year to last year is completely insane. And sometimes I'll be like, bro, nothing's changing, you know. And then I have to reflect back and be like, wow, oh, I'm stupid. You know what I mean? Like it's been crazy.
Well, and I was gonna say it this way because I know I have an issue reflecting back just because I'm so used to going forward that like for me like
Mhm.
and my old saying back in the day was the rear view mirror is way smaller than your driver window, so that's why you're designed to look forward. Like what I was
Right.
saying back before this growth, but I
Mhm.
am in the same boat with you where it's like you don't even it's not you don't want to reflect back, you just don't have time to reflect back.
Yeah, I think it depends on what's in front of you, you know? I think it depends on like what's stopping you, because as humans we have limitations, right? And like whatever your goal is, there's gonna be obstacles, there's gonna be limitations in front of you. And sometimes those limitations in front of you are what's behind you. And you have to overcome that. You have to get through that, what you didn't get through in the past, in order to get over that slump so you can level up, you know. And that's been most of my journey, is having to reflect on the past. And it's the only way, just not only to be grateful for where I am today, but to get through the traumas and all the things that I went through, throughout childhood and through the years of being, a young adult. And man, it's been a journey. So like I guess it depends on what's in front of you, what the obstacle is, because most of the time it's us, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time we're in front of ourselves, like we're not stepping out of our own way, we're the problem. And a lot of that was created from what happened in the past, right? Whatever experiences, your subconscious is wired to stop you for some reason, so, but I can see that, you can still grow, but I feel like it's more of a forced growth when you're just just going, like no matter what, you're just not looking back, you're going, it's forced, like I don't care, skip that, let's go, you know.
Every
Depends
day,
on your
man.
on your way.
And the reason why I was saying the no man's zone is I actually occurred this year over Thanksgiving break, and it's not so much was forced, not that it's I finally had the time to be still.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
when we're so used to being wide open, stillness it's great for a lot of things. Like it recharged me, but stillness actually kills me at times. Like that first day of stillness, I go nuts because it's like
Right.
and we're gonna go back on the addiction side of it and in your previous life and my life and stuff. But stillness is where I got in trouble
Okay.
because my body was craving that rush.
Yeah.
And for me, like staying busy, I can still feed my mind. And for me, no matter what, growing up, I was always busy. So like now I'm looking at proactively, okay, this is my strength. How do I
Yeah.
fill it with all kinds of great things as growth versus filling it with like for me it was alcohol, pornography, all that stuff. So
Mhm.
um obviously I know me and you are kind of wired the same way, but let's go back previously and talk about like growing up, because I know mine there's a sense of anxiety and stuff from stuff that obviously I thought was healed, but it's not healed. So
Yeah.
dig deep, man. Tell everyone your story and we'll go from there.
Yeah, man. So, it would take me a year to tell my story if I really told it in detail. There's a lot of things that I haven't talked about, and the reason being is because other people are involved, and I don't want to hurt other people or make them look a certain way. It's not, they don't understand. So there's certain things that I keep to myself, but there's also certain things that I kept to myself as a child, because I was scared and I should have spoke up, right? And so when I was 7 years old, I got sexually molested by my Sunday school teacher. She was a point of authority for me. somebody I looked up to and trusted. And I remember this, it was a repressed memory because I just didn't want to think about it. But this is something I really never talked about. It's been coming back up in my life, right? And I realize it's the cause of, this is the start of everything. I always used to blame like my parents and my family and my home, and it really messed me up. When this repressed memory started to make light, I was like, wow, like I feel like an asshole. First of all, the second of all, like, I guess I've heard statistics say 80% of like extreme addicts have had a molestation in their life. Like somebody has hurt them physically or sexually. And, when that happened to me, the biggest thing that triggered me was that authority really fucked with me from that moment on. So I couldn't listen to my parents after that. I couldn't trust anybody, any teacher, any leader, anything like that. And so I was basically like in this world where I was not safe. I couldn't trust anyone. The week after she did that to me, I came to Sunday school with a cap full of bleach, and I poured it in her coffee, trying to kill her. And I didn't tell my parents anything. I said, I'm going to deal with this. Right. And she got extremely sick, bro. Like she almost died. And that scared me, bro. I was 7 years old. So like now I'm holding this secret, and I can't say what she did because I was afraid I was going to get in trouble for what I did to her. Right. And so I repressed this memory so deep and told myself that it wasn't real, that it wasn't true, so I could just move on. But that trauma excited every downfall in my life past that. It started it, and it always brought me back. And because of how it changed me mentally, I had a lot of behavioral issues, anger, violence, couldn't listen to authority, drug addiction from a very young age, and something I hid. And I lived in a good family, bro, like a good family dynamic, but I just wasn't part of that dynamic because I couldn't. I couldn't. And so you can see there was like headbutting and not agreement, no acceptance. They couldn't understand because I wouldn't tell them, right? Which ended up just leading me into this isolation lifestyle of self-sabotage and suicidal thoughts. And the drugs got deeper, they got harder, they got more extreme until I was 17. I started, I actually got kicked out of my house at 17, homeless at 17, lived in my car. First night I was out, I got addicted to methamphetamine. I tried methamphetamine for the first time at 17. The first day I was out, homeless, and then I took that to the next level. So I, again, just down another road. And I've done this most of my life. Got better, got sick, got better, got sick, but always had this like trauma, this PTSD, this something that kept bringing it back. Like it was different types of drugs, different types of coping mechanisms, different types of vices. And then, eventually went to like Xanax, and then it eventually went to alcohol. And at the alcohol stage, I was married with a kid. So, things were a little bit different. I had a responsibility at this time. Still married to this woman, and my son's a beautiful kid. He's 4. But when he was about 1 year old, I had taken alcohol to the next level. And basically, I was just a victim, bro. It was bad. I was just a victim, and I was that type of guy that couldn't see that I was a problem. It wasn't my fault. I was like this, and I just kept rebelling and kept getting in trouble. To the point where I was just trying to end myself through drugs and addiction. And then it got to a point where they left me. And so I was left again, and at that moment, I was like, I felt two things. I felt free, but also started to feel like responsible for what I did. And it was weird. I've never felt that. I've always been stuck in that victim mentality. Like since I was a kid, I couldn't break out of it. And then 4 months later, I was just drinking myself to death, bro. And it came to the night where I decided like I was going to kill myself. Like, this is it. I'm gonna kill myself. Like, I've lost everything but my clothes on my back 3 times now at this point in my life. Now I've lost my wife and kid. Nobody wants me, that shit. And I put a gun in my mouth, and I was gonna pull the trigger, finger on the trigger, ready to go, crying, sobbing, screaming. And that's when it clicked, bro. That was a moment when it clicked for me that, wow, this spot I'm at right now is my fault. It's my fault. And it was the first time I fucking saw that, right? And so it was that moment where, like, I decided I was also responsible for my future outcome. I was responsible for my past. Even though I was, traumatized, even though all this stuff happened, I still decided to react to it this way to get me to this point. So now I also put into concept that the steps I make today, from today forward, are going to put me in a situation in the future. And it just clicked. I was like, I have hope. I have hope, bro. And I started to, put in the daily steps. It's crazy story. I mean, that's just a quick timeline, quick run. I mean, if you guys want to know more, like, got all sorts, my YouTube channel's got a bunch of testimonials on it and stuff, but in my Instagram, I talk about it all the time. I get into detail about it, but that's the run of it, bro. Just darkness, absolute darkness. And it's hard to tell the story.
Yeah.
It's still hard because sometimes I still feel like, oh, I'm just like complaining, and I have to check myself and be like, no, like, if I was doing bad in my life right now still, and I was telling my story, it would be like victim, like whining, complaining. But because I'm doing good, it's like, no, I overcame that. I tell my story because I overcame it now. And so I still get, a little fucked up from it. It still affects me. I have overcome it, but it still lives with me sometimes. And, it's just trauma is no joke. It's no joke. Like, when you look at someone walking down the street, you have no idea what they're going through. No idea. You would have no idea that they could probably be having the worst day of their fucking life, and you would never know. And you can mistreat that person and just ruin them, right?
Yeah.
And so it helped me understand people, really, and value people, and be able to help them through their pain, whether the person I'm trying to help is a millionaire and established with a family and doing good, and he's just trying to break through a glass ceiling, or it's an addict that's struggling to get off methamphetamines. Like, the path that I chose is a path. It's a universal path that everybody can take to become better. Is discipline, right?
I want to tap into two things that you said, because I still fight. Yes, I overcame alcohol. So it's like I said, I'm 2 years sober.
Yes, sir.
But we still have this daily battle of, the further along journey we get, there's a lot more better, a lot great.
Yeah.
The great days outweigh the bad days. I get that. But when, like, for my sake, I did everything single, which I'm perfectly happy about. Like, I'm not going to contest. I'm glad I'm single during this process. But now I'm like 4 years after being divorced, and I look at it this way. It's like, and I just spoke to a person before we jumped on, but I'm like, where do I meet people around here? Because I'm in the upper Midwest, which is still drinking heavy. Like, you go meet, you have to go out to bars to meet people. That's just how it is. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, so in the journey of reaching out, dating and all that stuff, you see, like, someone, they're like, oh, you don't drink. And you almost get that victim feel, like you were talking about, where it's like, no, I chose to sober up, but I'm not the victim. Thank you. But I still battle with that. Like, if you get to know someone, it's almost like you have to put that option last, and it shouldn't be last. That you should be so proud about that, putting it first.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's good people like me and you wear it on our shoulders, and we're like we're the brand for sobriety, like, we're the speakers of it. We're we're not afraid to tell it and the power that it has. I think that a lot of people may look at me and go like, oh, he's got a boring life, like, doing the same thing every day. It's like, dude, if you've seen the growth in my life, like, it's exciting, bro. I'm so uncomfortable. It's awesome. Like, I was 145 pounds 4 years ago and extremely addicted to drugs and alcohol, lost my family, and now, like, for in 4 years built a 6-figure business. My family's healthy and happy. We're strong. I'm 80 pounds heavier. I am like a leader to 200 plus people. I'm a good influence now, not a bad influence. And it's just like, it's crazy that void that you're talking about, that no man's zone, when you can fully commit to whatever you want. And what I mean is fully committing to those daily habits, to those daily steps that you got to take. You can fully commit to those and get rid of the distractions. You can get anywhere quickly. People want quick results. I'll tell you what, I can get you them. It doesn't mean it's easy. It's 10 times harder, but it's 10 times quicker. You just got to commit. And I think that level of commitment is maybe what me and you had to alcohol, because we were driven.
Yes.
Right. We're driven, and it's an energy, and we needed to release that somewhere. And we decided to release that into negative. And now we're deciding to release it into positive. Like you said, it's like an addiction again. It's like an addiction. And it's really, no, you're just placing your drive into something. You're getting a return. And that's the addicting part. Like, I love that you have drive. I love it. Honestly, not a lot of people have that. And it really, what it is, it's focus. It's just obsession. It's focus. It's getting something that, and you'll do anything for it. Anything.
And that's where I'm going to say anything. I'm going to tap in. I'm going to not even say tap into this. I'm going to branch off of that. Okay. At the beginning of this journey, it was, you're still kind of cautious. And like we were saying with the level up, it didn't take till pretty much this time last year. I think I rolled into January, and someone asked me straight out, they're like, what is your goal for this year? I said, I'm not even like, my goal is not even that. It's my personal saying is, I am not a stat, and I'm going to change culture, which means deep down, she's like, well, why are you sending this? I mean, budget conscience, all that stuff. She's like, what are you not afraid of? I said, I'm not afraid going bankrupt to make sure that I can be, and I'm going to say it this way, but like going up this ladder to hit that success level where I want to go, I'm not afraid to bankrupt myself to go to that in a good way. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but which means I'm all in going up the whole process. And if it comes to something that's like personal growth, which would be like the event I'm going to in January, I'm willing to go get my arm poked for donating plasma for 6 weeks just to get there. It's when it comes to that stuff, like the all in attitude that we're talking about with the drinking and all that stuff and the drive. If I know there's value there and I know that I have to be there, I will find a way to get there. If I will drive 24 hours to get there, and call in sick at work. It's just I am not going to be working full time where I'm at in a couple of years. And secondly, I am designed technically by God, by my name. Chad means warrior, which means I'm going to link that warrior together and just plow away for people that are behind me and show it's actually cool to have a sobriety life. It's cool to achieve great things. It's cool to build businesses. It's just like you said, we directed that addiction drive focus, and finally in life, I actually have a purpose to focus it on.
Yeah. I, when I first got back with my wife, I got laid off. I was an electrician. I was a foreman for a commercial electrician. I was a journeyman electrician for 7 years altogether as an electrician. And I got laid off in one day. Just COVID happened, got laid off, and lost all the reasons to provide for, not the reasons, but I lost how I'm supposed to provide for my family. And it triggered something in me. And I had that same mentality. I was like, I don't want somebody to tell me how much money I can make. Yep. And I don't want somebody to tell me that I can and cannot work. And so that was the day I decided to build my own business. And from $0, bro, to 6 figures in 6 months. Never worked 2 jobs since I started this business. I was all in on this from day one. And what's cool about that is it creates an emergency situation. It's like, oh, we got to pay rent. I don't have a job. This is my moneymaker. I got to make it work. And that drive starts to light a fire under your ass, and you go get it. And you got to be confident enough to know that you'll get it.
Yeah.
Right. And otherwise you won't start. Like, people don't start because they're afraid to fail, but like you said, you're not afraid to go bankrupt to get what you need, what you want in this world. And what you're saying is that no matter what the world calls failure, it's not failure to you, because failure is a decision to quit. It has nothing to do with what the world tells you can't do. It's you going, I'm done. So it doesn't matter how many times we fail in the world's eyes, we're always winning.
Well, here's a little side note from the world. The world wants you to be successful, and they want, and the government wants to get taxes off of you, which means they're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure you're successful. So, guys, and I don't want to use the term bankrupt as a bad way. I'm not bankrupt. I get that, but I'm using that as an analogy of saying, it's this is my only shot. Like, I have a break between I have a break between my ex-wife and whoever my next wife is going to be. And I'm going to say it that way. I have a break right now, which means God laid a time frame out to say, dude, I'm pushing everyone out of your life. This is your time to flip it, change it, and go forward. So like, for me, I looked at it this way. It's like, I have no more, yes, I work full time, but when you have a path cleared out like that, you take advantage of it and you run. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's no other option. Like, either like a girl or whoever, it's like, this is my goals and that's what I'm going to do. And it's not like we don't want to be like a pushover drive, our drive's so fierceful that we push people over, but it's coming to the point where like my circle influence is like, if you're, a great influence, or you're helping, or you're holding your hand back, whatever the gaps are where you're at in that current level, I will be friends with you. If you're going to hold me back and you're going to like make me parallel with my old addictions and kind of that way, I'm like, dude, like I have no time for that, because I have so much goals on the plate that I want to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. And when you're sober, you can see opportunity. If you were drinking, you want to be able to see that opportunity. There'd be no way. It'd skip right by you.
Yeah, no. And honestly, man, I would, and I'm going to go back to my old time, but like, I would have 3 drinks down by now. Start at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's almost 6 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
And I would have by now 1/8 of a bottle of Tito's already gone.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's when you see, what I believe is that we all have a purpose, right? And I know you believe that too by what you're saying. We all have a purpose, and the only way to truly seek that purpose or to find it is by aligning your daily habits with that purpose, even though you may not know what it is. So by doing what is good, by doing what is right in this world, you will be given that opportunity of finding your purpose. But if you're out and your daily habits don't align with good or goal or success, then it's going to be nearly impossible. You're going to be on a different path on a different time, and the opportunity is going to pass you. And so like, if anybody feels like they can't see their opportunity, or that they don't know what their purpose is, because I know that's a big trigger for people. They're like, I don't feel like I have a purpose. And that's a shitty feeling, bro. But the truth is everybody does. It's what you're doing on a daily basis to keep your mental health in check, your physical health in check, your spiritual health in check. That's going to help you see that purpose. If you're not clear-headed enough, you won't see the opportunity. So like, sobriety is when people first of all, when people are drinking a lot or they do drugs and they finally decide that they hit rock bottom, they get sober, the reason why they're able to focus on something good is because they've been distracted for so long that they're sick of distractions. All focus is discipline to put away distractions. That's all. That's what focus is. That's what drive is. You got something to drive towards now.
Yeah. And I was going to say, mine's 22 years worth of having some sort of substance in me. So it's,
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. It's just, the way I say it this way is I start no matter what every time. Obviously, I wake up in the morning, I pray, and I, make sure I'm gratitude for what I have. Um, that's my number one step. Is like, dude, like thank whoever. Universe, obviously me, I'm a Christian. I get that. So I'm gonna thank him. But like universe, whatever it is, thank him in the morning because number one thing is done. You woke up.
Yeah, you're breathing.
And then the other one is, dude, I gotta make my bed within like the first 3 minutes. And it's not like I'm not a check the box off type of guy. Mentally in my head, I'm like, okay, accomplished, done. Okay, get the coffee. Like something so small and tedious back in the day would be like, okay, yeah, I'm turning coffee on. Now it's like a routine where we're so locked and loaded in our routines with working out, being healthy, reading, music, podcasts, self-development, growth, wherever, man. Like we can go through a long list of what we do each day, but when you're locked and loaded on that, it's just not saying there's no compromise, but it's very tough to compromise stuff that's not part of that program.
Yeah, so your future outcome is completely dependent on what you repeat, right?
Yeah.
So like show me somebody's schedule, show me their routine, I'll show you their future, right? You've heard that. We all have. So I think a lot of people repeat things. A lot of people are consistent. They are disciplined, just not with the right things. So like everybody has routine, everybody has habit. But if you were to place the correct things with the correct intention in your day and repeat it on a daily basis, you would see a little bit of growth every single day. And over 10 years, you would be something so great. But I'd say the first place to start is by figuring out what you want. What is your vision? Like what goal do you have? If you don't have a goal, you got nothing to be driven towards. So if you feel like you don't have drive, your discipline is bad, your focus is bad, you're unmotivated, it's because you have nothing to be motivated for. And you may, but you get excited and then a week later it goes away. And the reason why is because you're not reliving that vision every single day. It's got to be part of your routine to see yourself there, see a description of where you're going to be, like what color are the walls, what does it smell like, who are you with, who are you talking to, who's listening to you, you know what I mean? And get into such detail, and you start to become what you believe, right? Of just repetitiveness. And then whatever that vision is, you ask yourself 10 years from now, that's that person, you go, what do you do every single day? And he'll tell you, I work out, I read a book, I make time management, I meditate, I pray, I reflect. And you're like, oh crap, I should probably put that in my day. You put that in your day and that becomes your routine. You repeat it every day until you become that person, right? It's extremely simplistic, but I think a lot of human beings wake up for money, and that's it. They wake up because they have to go to work. People would not wake up if it weren't for money, and that's got to change. We got to wake up for a greater intention than just ourselves, our pleasure, our comfort, and look bigger at a bigger picture, what value you can bring to this world 10 years from now, being something significant, right? And I'll tell you, if you can place a bigger value than yourself on your why, right? Like if my why in the beginning was I envisioned my son calling another man dad, and my wife being loved better than I could love her. And that was my why. It wasn't I had to get sober. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a bad person, I need to get help. It was fuck. Like no, not happening. Like I want to be that person. I want to be that person. And that's what drove me at first. And I put in the work, the consistency, the daily habits, from this really broken man to holding my wife's hand, she telling me she's proud of me again, and my son looking up to me like his hero. And my wife doesn't even have to work anymore. Like just a complete difference, because I put myself in the shoes of the vision I wanted, and I found out what daily steps I had to do to get there, and I just repeated it until I became
yeah. And there's a few nuggets I'm going to say, and I'm going to say let's end it now because you were on a high note, and I don't want to drag it out because the value you just gave in 25 minutes, 30 minutes, man, is just excellent. So
Good.
where can everyone find you, or put in all your social media stuff, or tell all my listeners where we can find you. We'll say it
all right. So if you guys, everybody should be giving me a follow at @the_real_Eric Rogers on Instagram. I'm the most active on Instagram. So I'll message you back. I message everybody back. I post on my stories my exact routine, right? So you guys can see that I practice exactly what I preach every single day. I'm consistent, and you'll see the growth in my life. And you could also follow that. I make sure I'm interactive in my stories, motivational speeches every single day. And then I post every day as well, stuff that will help you. And then you guys can also go to ericallenrogers.com, where you'll see all of my social links posted in there. And you'll see my bio, exactly what I am, who I am, what I've done, what podcasts I've been on, stuff like that. You guys can get a little more grip on me. There's actually a free guide to discipline and self-mastery on that website. You guys download that. It's free. It actually will give you a checklist of what you can do today to start your own routine in journaling and reflection. So you guys can start your own journey on your own. But if you guys need help, reach out to me on IG. It's the best place.
Yeah, no problem, guys. And once again, man, thank you for coming on the podcast. And I will definitely have you back. The story and just all the value we have is well worth more than 2 episodes. So
right on, brother. Well, I'm excited. I appreciate you, dude. Chad, you're a good guy. You're intelligent. And it's been great meeting you. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, man.